Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Chichi's Comeback Corner, and we're here for episode 2, I guess, if you are keeping track of the numbers and all of that. But basically, I'm back with another chit-chat conversation, another triple C type of situation. And yeah, this time, guys, I have a very, very interesting guest on, he's one of my closest friends, and especially in the media space. And he's also here. He's making waves in the African combat sports space, and he is basically that guy, the guy to look out for. And I am honored to have him on the show, and I'm so excited. So let me welcome, without further ado, the owner, the host of the maestro of Fighting Talk podcast, the one and only Tshuck. What's up?
Boom, 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 boom. What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's
up? Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up? I'm doing? So glad that you're here to join the show. Welcome to Chichi's Comeback Corner.
Thank you for having me. This is actually the first time that I'm actually on the other side and not like doing the hosting. So yeah, it's quite, I don't know how to feel, but okay, we're here now.
Well, so I gave you kind of like a brief introduction with regards to the fact that, you're the host of Fighting Talk podcast and all of that. But, obviously there's a lot more things that you do in this industry, especially in the combat sports space and all of that. But I don't know, do you maybe have like an introduction that you might have for yourself, just to let the people know a little bit more about you and what you do and what you're all about?
Nah, I don't have like an introduction about myself. I'm pretty much just like, I'm in the space, in the media space, in terms of like the combat world, especially in MMA. I do have a podcast. Recently started being a practitioner of one of the martial arts in the discipline of jiu-jitsu. So yeah, man, that's pretty much me. I mean, just like also in media in general, in film and TV broadcasting. So this is pretty much like an area that I dabble in and I'm quite familiar with. So yeah.
I'm so glad that you actually brought up the fact that you are in broadcasting and stuff like that, because I know you've been posting about a certain show, right? And it's one of those things where it's great to see that you're not only in combat sports, but you're also in just entertainment in general. So can you just tell us a little bit more about, the differences perhaps between the combat sports world and just, general entertainment?
Damn. Combat's like just sports in general, because I mean, like I'm in terms of like my broadcasting space, I do an entertainment show, and I do like one where we profile like just sports in general. But like I feel like for me, in terms of with the interest that I have in combat sports, that's just like a personal one rather than like a work one with the relationship that I have with the other ones. So I feel like it will be it's not the same. The other one comes from a place of like, it obviously generates money for me. The other one is like the passion that I have. But yeah, so for now, it's just a matter of like trying to dabble both and juggle both, I guess. But like, yeah, really trying to get the podcast and like the media space and the combat stuff off the ground, especially this year,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm actually very excited to hear all of that. And that actually, you know what, maybe this is a good place for us to actually start off from Fighting Talk podcast, right? So I think maybe let's just start from where the idea could have come from, like how did it come about? Well, like what was the process into you actually starting your podcast?
Like it's actually just a thing of, because I've been watching I guess the UFC and the EFC. It was just a matter of like just tapping in, because I identified like a space within the media. There wasn't anyone who was doing it of my color, right? So of like, you know what, I can actually utilize this and like take it to my advantage. And that's why I started. I did have a podcast. I've always wanted to get into the podcast space, but I feel like I kind of slotted in perfectly within the combats. And like once I started getting Fighting Talk off the ground, it was really easy to like generate the relationships that I have. And also thanks to people, to you, like you, literally helping me get my first interview. And yeah, so it's been quite a journey. It's been quite a journey. But yeah, man, like we're still like what, 11 episodes in, so we're still young.
Okay, so from your 11 episodes, right? Because I only see whenever you post about it, right? And I'm like, bruh, like the quality when it comes to your work is
Sure.
it's crazy, bruh. Even from the jump, from episode 1. So can you just give us a bit of insight with regards to like the production and how you actually managed to like get that quality?
Yeah. So I mean, it's just like a matter of like investing in your own craft. So everything that I use, from the mics, I have about 4 mics. I have a soundboard. I have, like, the recording device. I have 3 cameras with me when we're recording. So with that, it's just a matter of like, because I'm in the media space already, I obviously have friends who have other equipments that I didn't have, So the sound comes from me.
Yeah.
Others I just use my friends to help me record. So yeah, the cameras and the lights. Yeah, it's just me and my friend, like the partner that I have who helps me record. But yeah, it's just a matter of like just investing in your own craft and like taking the leap, because you wanted to start this and like just believing that it's going to take you somewhere,
Now, Zia, how long exactly did you take to like conceive this idea in your mind? Was it like just one of those things where you were like, okay, let's go? Or was it like one of those things where you spent like months upon months upon months just planning and just preparing for it?
Yeah. So like, yeah, I did have a podcast before, and it was just a thing of like, what, like with fighting talk, as well, a matter of like exploring the passion and identifying the space. So it wasn't really even a thing of like where I had to think long and hard about it. So I attended my first UFC, and then it was a matter of like actually, because also, I mean, you've obviously, but like, how everyone is literally accessible, So
Yeah.
it was like, I can approach this person, tell them about the idea and get the contacts, and then boom, it's like, that's how easy it is, So once I could get that and like book a guest, it was a matter of like just showing up and just pressing record.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
now, okay, so this name, right? I know that the name is linked to, your first guest, but can you just maybe give the listeners a brief history of like how the first guest came about, who was the first guest, and how the name actually was conceived from that?
Dang. The first guest was the great Simon Stevens. So yeah, he was the first person that I ever had, and I feel like for me that was a big one, because Simon is literally the voice that you hear commentating. So to have him as the first person to actually agree and to give me that chance in terms of like being on the podcast, and like with me not even having a direction, because at least now I have a direction in terms of like what I ask and all of that, what I'm trying to get out of the guest. But for him to actually help me come up with a name, yeah, he actually says it in the first episode.
Yeah.
This is the first episode, and yeah, so for him to help me out in that way, and like also like I see him as like someone like as a mentor, especially in that space. He's been doing it for a long time. So yeah, to have him as a pillar, and obviously like he's someone that the fighters also recognize, he's so it also makes it now easy to market the podcast, like, yo, there's Simon Stevens, he's been on here, wah. So yeah, like having him was super dope, and yeah, I'd actually want to have him again, actually.
And Simon is really great. I mean, like, he's been on the podcast space himself. He's been on the news. He's just always been like the combat sports advocate in a way within the country. So he was definitely a great first choice. And but then that brings me to my next question, right? In terms of like over the 11 episodes that you've had now, who has been your favorite guest thus far? And wow.
Do not do that.
We gotta know.
Don't do that. Your favorite episode. Obviously, I'm going to give a PR answer in terms of like, yo, they all my kids. I can't choose. It's like, But yeah, I feel like in terms of with every guest that I've had, it's a different vibe in terms of like also with where I was with the podcast, you know. So it's not anything that I can say that this was my favorite, because everyone has, like, I've experienced, I was at a different space compared to the last one, you know. So yeah, and like with it being also a thing of like it's mixed martial arts and boxing, it covers boxing also. So there's also boxers on Fighting Talk. So there's like I just learn something new every time I press record, you know. So I can't say that this is my favorite, this is not my least favorite. They all literally provide a different experience.
But then I feel like I know who your favorite was. But guys, we'll get to that, Nee. We'll get to that. I'll tell you guys who his favorite guest was. But then
I feel like I know who you might just say.
Still on the topic of guests, right? Who is a dream guest of yours that you want to have on the show? Be it tomorrow, be it next month, be it next year, whenever. Who is a dream guest of yours that you would love to have on the show?
Damn, a dream guest. I don't have a dream, but I feel like it would be a thing of having, I can't say someone from the UFC because I've already done that. But like it would be having like someone who's probably like one of your top fighters, I guess, in the UFC, you know, like a UFC champion. Which, okay, but okay,
wow.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I don't have a dream guest. Like, I don't have like a list where it's like, okay, cool, this is the people that I'm trying to get, blah, 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 blah. It's literally all about like, who can I schedule, you know, who's willing to be on the podcast? Because also it's a thing of like, what I've learned is that, especially when I was first starting, like it was a matter of like, I was chasing names. I was chasing, oh, have this person, oh, let me have the, you know? So now it's just been a thing of like, actually whoever wants to be on the platform, I'm down to work with, and I'm down to have them. So it's not a thing of like, yo, I only have these type of people on there. It's whoever, like, I feel like, okay, fits the profile, you know?
Yeah. Okay, is there anyone gay within the EFC who perhaps you're looking at and you're like, I want you by the end of this year? On my podcast, that is.
So many fighters that I actually want from the EFC. Yeah. But you know what? You know what makes it difficult in terms of like the EFC is that like right now, because I literally run this thing on my own, right? So sometimes you find that it's tough to get to the places where the fighters are at. I can tell you an instance where I was supposed to have Umosa, Bad News. So I went to the guys at BIA, and it was a rainy day, you know, went from Johannesburg to Pretoria, got there and it was load shedding. And there's a thing. Yeah, so my mics need electricity to work, you know. So that's also one of the things where it's just like it makes it tough to like also schedule, also like go about it. But yeah, I don't have like I literally want to have everyone. But I'd want to have everyone. I've been trying to get like people like Rovan, but like he's in Porch, so it's never like, you know, so it's like the logistics of it gets quite difficult. It gets in the way.
Just in case you guys don't know, right? Sia does his interviews live in person. It has a very nice personal feel to it. And, you know, it's totally great. So, yeah, there's that. I totally understand that. But then let's now talk about the relationships that you form with these fighters or these people within the combat sports space, right? Because I think the more that you speak to them, like you're saying, like you press record and you learn from them and all of that. But it is one of those things where you get to get a deeper sense of respect for them and for their craft, right? So can you just talk a little bit more about that and the things that you like, maybe the way that it helps build your relationship?
Sheesh, like, you know, actually it's always a thing of, I don't know if you've also experienced, but like fighters don't like to do interviews, you know, like they don't like to do interviews. And yeah, so like whenever I get there and like I approach them with the idea of doing an interview, it's only a selected few that actually like the camera time. But anyway, so like whenever I get there, like I ask them like, yo, I'd want to do this and that. you can also always kind of see like the nervousness of it, and then I come through with like all the equipment and all of that. Now it just becomes intimidating, I don't know how many times I've actually been told like, yo, I don't think this is going to be this serious, So yeah, and then there's that, and then it's a matter of like once actually you start talking to them and you like you get a sense of who they are. I always kind of feel, I always know when they're turning it, like now they're more comfortable and now they're sharing their experiences, and all of that. So yeah, for me, it's like a matter of like, it's always like a different aspect in terms of learning about their journey, learning about who they are as a person.
Yeah.
And yeah, like forming that bond and that relationship, you always like appreciate it at the end, because sometimes like I even have a chat like off camera, like we just chill, with the fighter and we talk about other things. And like, yeah, so forming those bonds like it's been dope, man. Like I can't trade that. Like I can't give that.
Yeah.
I can't trade that for anything.
Now, there's one fighter in particular that you have formed a closer bond with than others, right? So, guys, the reason why I'm laughing so much, right, is because off camera, Sia knows, Tshuck knows that, like, I always say that this is like basically his bestie, right? It is his bestie. They just don't want to admit it to each other, but they're besties. One particular Themba Gorimbo, who is currently within the UFC, the answer. Yeah, you and him have formed a very tight bond. Can you just give us a little bit of insight to the relationship that you have with him?
Sheesh, like, yeah, my relationship with Themba actually was a matter of like, it was, I guess, by chance, like it's one of those things where everything happens for a reason, because I remember approaching him when I was in the first time I was at the EFC, obviously starstruck, everyone is here, everyone TV, So boom, approached him for an interview, and then he's like, nah, he doesn't do interviews before like a big fight, right? And at that time, the news had broken out that he's going to the UFC. So I was like, okay, cool, I respect that, and that was that. And then his first fight didn't go his way. He came back, and then I approached him again, and that's when he gave it the thought in terms of like, okay, cool. Because I had approached him 2 times, like I came back to, like, it wasn't a matter of like hopping on the train, the hype train. Now he's a UFC fighter, I think he actually, and then he actually gave me the chance to actually interview him, and yeah, that's where it started. So, and then I've literally been with him since then, from his first fight in the UFC, and like being, I guess, with him in the roller coasters of losing and winning, Yeah, it's been dope, man. Like I didn't think it would be in like this, especially growing up and like seeing him fight on TV, seeing him being the first Zimbabwean champion, So from EFC. So yeah, man, like now to have that bond with him and like be someone that I can actually text and call him a brother, it's crazy.
Yeah. And some of you guys might have actually seen Tshuck's name somewhere, right? This past weekend, Themba Gorimbo actually posted a screenshot. Themba Gorimbo actually posted a screenshot over on X, right? He posted a screenshot on X. And basically it was just a chat that he was having with who? With Tshuck, where he was basically giving his prediction about the match, the main event. And your name was there. It had a crown. It had, what else did it have? I don't know. But like there was a crown emoji next to his name. If I can somehow insert it here, guys, I will insert it. You guys will see it. But I was like, yellow tight like that. Damn. But this is why, guys, this goes back to the conversation that we were having earlier on, where I'm saying that I think I have an idea of who his favorite guest might have been. And it's not to slight the others. It's just that this one is both different. You know what I'm saying?
It's not even. Can I speak on that? It's only because like I said, for me, it's a matter of like I always like I said in like earlier on, the people that I have on the podcast is people who are willing to come on, Yeah. So he actually called me more like, yo, I'm around. We can do an interview. And like obviously I'm not gonna turn like around me. I'm around town.
No. I'm not talking about that interview specifically. I'm talking about the other one. Sia had another interview, guys. Tshuck had another interview with this man. And let's just say it transcended borders. It transcended borders, guys. It was
yeah. So like, if it says like,
international.
I have time, like let's record. I'm always down. So it's a matter of like, and also when fighters can provide that in terms of like the space and time, then it's always chills. I'm always down to record. So yeah, that's why he's the most recurring guest on the podcast.
Guys, see, like Tshuck is being coy about all of this, ne? Tshuck got the chance to go and record Themba Gorimbo in Zimbabwe. We are in South Africa. And he managed to go out there to Zim. And yeah, if I'm not mistaken, you have the vlog up on your channel. So I'm going to link that in the description, guys, so that you guys can go check out the vlog where Tshuck was over in Zim and he got to chill with the Zim folks. But actually, whilst we're talking about Zim, let's talk about it. Like, what was your experience in Zim? Did you enjoy it? Did you like it?
It was quite dope. And actually, what's special about that episode is that he broke the news of him meeting Dwayne Johnson on that podcast before they even posted it, So yeah, relationship with Dwayne Johnson and like what he did for him, he tells it all on that episode. So yeah, it was quite dope, man. And that's why he got us out there because obviously he had news to share. But yeah, man, it was really dope, like being in Zimbabwe. And also being like one of the things where like now the podcast provides like travel opportunities, like one thing that I didn't like foresee for myself having starting it. So yeah, man, like it was really dope. He took us around, he showed us around. He took us to his favorite place, like a restaurant that he likes to go to, and we had like the local food. It was really dope. I enjoyed it. But yeah, man, like we were there for a day, so it was like for the short time that we were there, like it was really nice, man.
Yeah. Nah, you know what? I'm still gonna give myself some time, guys, and go check out that vlog. And I suggest that you guys also do the same. And I'm definitely gonna link it in my description so that we can all watch it. But now let's talk about what you alluded to. I love the way you said also that you're a BJJ practitioner now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that. So let's talk about that. How did you get into you actually now doing BJJ?
Like it was actually a thing of like, like when you're watching the UFC and you're watching like everything, you just like, you have so much to say, like, oh, you can easily escape that, like, oh, so it was a matter of like, and also having when I spoke to Simon, he spoke about like, can you hang, because he's also like tried the martial art, like, space. He said he got injured actually, and that's what took him out. But like, yeah, so it was a matter of like, actually, so yeah, I was having a chat with my best friend, and he was telling me like, yo, try it, like get into the space, and I was telling him, nah, like I'm good, I'm not trying to do it. Yeah, well, and then this one time I was at work and I was like, actually, let me just like search a jiu-jitsu gym around me, and I found I was actually close, like 10 minutes away, Okay. So I went to go check it out, and later found out it was actually Gareth McLaren's Soldier Boy's gym. And yeah, with Shauna Power, Titanium. So yeah, man, it was a matter of like, okay, cool, let me try it out for a week. They signed me up for like a free, like 2 free lessons, in a week. And then yeah, experienced it. And then yeah, signed up. And like now 5 months later, it's been quite the journey,
Yeah, I saw that you posted on Instagram today, actually, guys. He posted on Instagram about like how, he's now 5 months into this journey. And it's crazy to think that you didn't even like think that you'd be doing this. But it's totally great that you're like fully in the space now. And it's even giving you the opportunity to even have an interview with Soldier Boy himself, Gareth. So,
Yeah, legend space. So that's actually one of the people who, like, for me, shaped MMA, especially like in South Africa. So to have that chance to even be coached by him, and let alone like to sit and like have his story, have him tell his story in terms of like how he got into the UFC and everything else. It was really like surreal.
Yeah. So then, Manje, the question is, will we see you in active competition at some point?
I don't know. I don't know. I've been contemplating that, like, especially this year. I don't know, man. We shall see. We shall see.
Ooh.
I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying yeah, but like I'll see how I feel. I'd want to, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. And the fact that I'm actually like in between two minds, like I feel like that's also telling, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I'll see, man, like how I feel closer to the time of competitions. And yeah.
You know, guys, C and I have been discussing this since like late last year. And every time he's like, I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to fight. I'm not going to tell you. And I'm like, you make it seem like I'm not going to find out that you're fighting. Like, what? Like, bro, I am going to be there with the big
I'm not going to tell anyone. Like, it's not for anyone to know. No,
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. Go see her written on a big ass board. You are going to see me.
Good, bro. Good with that shit. Hell no.
Okay, so then in BJJ, what's your favorite? I don't know. Is it like takedowns? Ne? It's takedowns. And
I mean, there's different things: takedowns, submissions, passing. There's a lot of things that go into it. Damn. Yeah. So, like, I guess what you want to know is like, what's my favorite submission? Like in terms of what I get people.
What's your favorite submission? Yeah.
I don't have one yet, right? But I think the easiest one to get to, like, dude, jiu-jitsu is all about literally just getting to the person's back, right? And that's all it encompasses. Like, it's just different ways on how to get to the back. And obviously, if you can't, then there's different limbs and things that you can go after. So yeah, like I wouldn't say like I have a favorite because there's no one technique that I use to get people. So yeah, so for now, especially like as a white belt, I don't like everything is just there for exploring. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, but then do you wanna maybe take a guess and guess what my favorite submission is?
Rear naked choke.
I mean, yeah, but like I was hoping that you'd first get it wrong, and then I could be like, why would you think that? You know, but. Yes, guys, rear naked choke is my favorite submission. Why? Because it's the only submission that I can do. So.
Okay. Heavy on the naked, but okay.
Yeah. But anyway,
okay.
Sia, if you had to transition over into like, let's say another martial art, right? Which one do you think it would be to add to your arsenal?
It'll probably be boxing, because of I feel like I'd like there's just like it's just two aspects of like to watch out for, just the hands, right? With MMA, I tried MMA. I went for one lesson actually at the gym for MMA, and it just there's so much that goes into it. There's so much, you know. So I don't think I'd ever do MMA. I think the safest, even though it's not, would be boxing. Yeah, because I don't have to worry about kicks. I don't have to worry about takedowns. I don't have to worry about, you know, it's just a matter of 1-2s. That's it. Yeah. Well, so yeah, if I had to do any martial art or any other martial art, it will be that. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
When are you?
What am I doing?
Aren't you gonna do a martial art? Anyone?
No.
Do this. There's so many, dude, and you're trying to tell me that you're not even gonna try one.
Yeah, nah. I'm not. Nah. You know, my hand-eye leg coordination is such crap, guys. Can I tell you? It's bad. It's bad. Bruh, I can't do sports.
Try.
Yo, guys. Also, you know, I was telling Tshuck this other day, and I don't know why he keeps forgetting about this. I was even telling him about like how I don't want to go roll with with the guys at the gym. People are sweating on top of me. Here's the sweaty man on top of me, and now I have to go home and wash off how many men?
like man, like off you. But yeah, it is a close contact sport. It is like a super personal sport. But like I feel like once you get that out the way, you actually become more comfortable, you know? I remember when like the first time I actually had a dude be in my guard, and like that's you with your legs spread out, you know? So it was quite weird, but like now you actually just welcome the position, you know, when you guys
That's
are
what
drilling.
welcome.
You literally just welcome the position, you know? So yeah, like it's one of those things where you like by the time you actually get into it, like you don't even find anything wrong with it. I
Yeah.
only get reminded like by people like outside, like, oh, this is actually so. It's like, oh, actually, like I forget, you know, how close contact you have to be
Yeah.
to people. So yeah.
Now, Sia, the other day you posted something very interesting on your WhatsApp because, you know, guys, I have WhatsApp privileges. I have WhatsApp access to this man. But anyway, you posted something on your WhatsApp that made me laugh because someone was basically asking you, and I think they thought what you do is street fighting. Can you tell us a little bit about that and like where was that even coming from?
Yeah, like you see, it's like one of the misconceptions that I have, and also like I feel like for me, jiu-jitsu is not like a popular thing like amongst people of color, you know. So it's a matter of like having to now explain what's going on. I just always find it tedious. Number one, number two, it's just like a matter of like you always having to explain to quote unquote ignorant people, you know, who also just like the motive. You can tell when someone wants to know for what it is,
Yeah.
or wants to know just because they're mocking you, you know. So like, yeah, that Street Fighter comment I just knew about. This is just they mocking me. Yeah, it was. So I was just like, you know what, it is what it is. Like I'm not even gonna try to say it. But yeah, like it's always it's just a difficult thing, man, you know, having to like tell people like this is what this is. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I get you. I get you. So that's Chuck with his own active stuff, right? But now let's move back into our media roles, right? Sia,
Sure.
I keep calling him Sia, guys. I'm sorry. That is his real name technically, but don't call him Sia. Only I can call him Sia. Thanks. Um, but basically, you and I, we go to these UFC events, right? And we get all up close and personal with this action and all of that. And we know that the first event that's coming up is EFC 111, EFC 111. And that is going to be headlined by Gift the Day Walker and Nkazimulo Shaka Zulu. So
Tshaka.
yeah, King Shaka, ne? Damn,
Yeah.
that King Shaka. You see, this is why I didn't want to use that. But anyway, King Shaka Zulu. I'm so sorry, Zulu, if you see this. I'm sorry. But yeah, because you know one thing about these fights is also they'll confront you at the event and they'll be like, "I heard what you said," and you're like, "Yo."
You watched? You
Hectic.
definitely.
But I just wanted to know, like, are you excited for the year when it comes to EFC? And also, what's your prediction when it comes to that first main event?
Definitely excited. It's the first big event. It's the first fight that it's the first card they're putting up. The fact that it's champion versus champion, we're starting off big, you know. For me, a prediction. See now. But yeah, for me, I feel like Gift actually provides a lot of dangers for Nkazumulo because Gift is actually super good on the ground. His stand-up is also like on par. Definitely training out with the guys, with the JP Krugers, the House of Tinkerbell. So he's all rounded, I feel, you know. And I mean, obviously, like, and he has youth on his side. So for me, definitely, Nkazumulo has experience, and obviously, like, I don't know in terms of like how much the fire has been ignited having joined CIT, you know. I mean, obviously we can see it with him having gone to a title again, you know. So but like if I had to pick I'd lean towards Gift Walker.
Okay. Okay.
Gift Walker.
Okay, I'm also going with Gift Walker, as I mentioned in the previous episode, guys. I'm also going with Gift Walker. I'm not going to revisit it, but I'm going with Gift Walker. And then,
That's
do I have what?
A reason?
No, not really. I just like I always say, I'm not a very, very, very super analytical person. So you see how like Sia just broke it down right now and was, talking about, the different things that they both bring to the table. I'm more just like, I think this one might have the edge on the night, That's just how I go off of it. But just vibes here, bro. Just vibes here. So
yeah, but, that's not bad. But yeah.
So then after that, that's in March, right? That's the 7th of March. And then the following one is going to be in early April. And now they haven't confirmed who the main event is, but already we've seen on social media, we've seen a few clips and we've seen a few comments where we're like, is this where we headed? It seems like the middleweight champion, EFC middleweight champion, Luke Michael, will be making his return on that card. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this?
Again, it's just him returning there.
Yeah.
It's been a long-awaited return, man. And for me, I feel like obviously you know how it is in terms of like with ring rust, So I feel like it's gonna be the pressure's gonna be on him more than his opponent. So yeah, I don't know. But also him being a wrestler, I don't think that poses much because obviously all he has to do is just take you down, right? So yeah, man, I don't know, but I'm excited to see him back and how he's been in terms of like the training, because I mean obviously he's been rehabilitating and now training towards April. So we'll see what it brings to the table, like what else what maybe he has improved on. Yeah.
And, it seems like he's doing some great work down there in Cape Town with the Performance Institute. And, because I know they had like a viewing for 110, I believe it was. Yeah. They had a viewing there. So that's going to be really great. And I'm assuming that you and I are of the same belief that probably when he makes his return, he's going to be going up against JP Kruger, because he is the interim middleweight champion.
Sure. Yeah. He even posted on a post that had that JP Kruger, like it was showcasing JP Kruger training, and he commented like, "Yo, see you in April." So yeah, that's what obviously like we've seen, but yeah, I feel like JP Kruger is switched on, man. Especially on the ground, having seen him, especially like in jiu-jitsu grappling tournaments. So yeah, and his stand up also like yeah, as I said, like the guys at House of Tikapala are really switched on, like on everywhere, wherever you take them. So yeah, I don't know about that one, but I feel like I'm leaning towards JP. That one, I'm leaning towards JP.
That makes sense. Also, shout out House of Tinkerbell. House of Tinkerbell has some great people over there, guys. Some stars are coming up at House of Tinkerbell, so definitely check them out. But then, who's a fighter or a match that you would love to see this year?
I'd actually want to see Triple H back. I haven't seen him in a while in the heavyweight division.
True.
I'd want to see what's going on in the lightweight division, and also with what's happening because I mean Dante King Cobra was supposed to fight for the belt, and that didn't materialize. So I'd actually want to see that. Yeah, like I don't have specific fights that I'd want to see, but like I think those are the ones that come to top of my head right now. So yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I think I also share the same. The only person that I might add to that would be Peace Ngupane. He's one of my favorite fighters. Just an all-round great person. I enjoy speaking to him. When I worked in the media space, Peace was my favorite fighter to work with. He really was. Because anytime I just needed him to do something, he would always be like, sure, I'm there. And also, have you seen how he pulls up, guys? He pulls up in a suit every single time, every single event. He pulls up in a suit. So
it was really unfortunate what happened in terms of like his lost fights. So yeah, it was interesting to see how he recovers from that, because like it was like a big one in terms of fighting for the title. And now we'll have to see what happens with that division, especially with Mark Hume having possibly vacating it, you know. So yeah, interesting one to look out for this year.
Seems like a very interesting year for EFC this year, hey?
Yeah.
But let's switch gears real quick and talk about UFC, right? First of all, everyone knows that I'm still pushing this campaign. And so on every single episode, I am going to bring it up. But Tshuck, do you think we will eventually, maybe not this year, but eventually, do you think we will eventually see a UFC Africa event?
I think for the time being that Dricus is still is champion, there's still hope, right? So it may not be this year, it may not be next year, as Brandon Moreno said. But yeah, I feel like the day that it will come, you know. Especially it's been one of those things where it's like it's been so long that it doesn't make sense not to do it now, you know. And like Dricus is like fifth African champion in the UFC. So like it's one of those things where there's always been like the market has always been there. So why not do it? So yeah, I feel like we will see. I'm hopeful.
And the timing for it is great right now, isn't it? Like we've got Dricus as the champion, right? But he's also embroiled in this feud against a fellow African. So
yes, Devs. So yeah, it does make sense to make it. I don't think they would make it. I don't think they'd make that fight be here, you know, or anywhere else in Africa. But yeah, I feel like they'll probably fight somewhere in America or first, and then we will see who they bring up this side. But like yeah, with the emerging talents like your Cameron Simons and Mark Hume possibly jetting off, like there is no way that you can't deny having like hosting a UFC Africa. I mean, you know.
That's true. Of course, we saw UFC 300 main event being announced. Everyone thought that it could be that fight. It could be Dricus versus Israel on that card as the main event, but it did not happen. Instead, we now see Alex Pereira going up against Jamal Hill for the light heavyweight title, and that's going to be a banger. But do you have an early prediction for that match?
Alex Pereira.
Oh,
Alex Pereira. Reason being because, like, dude, Jamal Hill comes off like an intense injury, right? He tore his Achilles heel. So he's coming back in less than normally you would take a year max, like a year on, you know, to heal that and rehabilitate that. And he's going in like 9 months, you know. So yeah, I don't feel like he'll be in top condition. So yeah, that's why for me it's an easy pick to go for Alex, because like he's been in shape, you know. And also like I mean Jamal was a former champion or is a former champion, and we don't know the hunger that he's coming with. So, but I still feel like Pereira has edge.
Makes sense. You and I both there, but we've reached the end of the show. I'm trying to keep it low, guys.
How do you feel about Alex losing his title?
Yo, I was not okay. I think you saw it on my WhatsApp status. Yesterday. I was not okay at all. I don't know why people were coming at me. I'm like, am I the only Alex Volkanovski fan on your WhatsApp list? Is that what you're trying to tell me right now? One of our other friends, Tanaka, immediately bruh, he didn't even wait until Ilya had his hand raised. He was already here like, did I not tell you that your man was going to get blasted? I'm like,
that was his prediction.
Yeah, he did say that. He was like, Ilya's going to blast man tomorrow. Literally, he sent me that text on Saturday night, and he was like, watch.
Yeah, yeah, that was a sad one, man. Especially like for the champion that Volk has been, and it's gone to a way. Obviously, like it's just a no-brainer to go with Volk, you know. So to see that happen, yeah, it does make you think in terms of like maybe you shouldn't have taken that match in Abu Dhabi against Islam. So I think that was like the biggest I guess downfall. Because like as they always say, like a knockout does change the fighter that you are, you know. So yeah, man, like it was really sad to see it happening. I didn't foresee it for anything, you know. So I was shocked.
So do you think that the fight against Islam, the second fight, do you think that actually kind of maybe shook Alexander Volkanovski's confidence, or?
Devs. I feel like it did shake him up. I feel like it did impact him. And like, yeah, I feel like it was one of those things where you're actually battling yourself more than you trying to fight your opponent, you know? But like, should they rerun it, which I feel like they should? I feel like Volk, I'd still stand with Volk to take it, because I feel like even in that fight, you could see Volk wasn't the normal Volk that we know of, you know. I feel like Volk I feel like it was more of a game plan thing, and as he said, he was about to get into gear. So yeah, I feel like he has more arsenal in him than what Ilya can showcase. You know, I feel like Ilya doesn't fight any other way but the way that he does in that same match. But I feel like Volk can switch it up, you know, implement a new strategy. So yeah, as we've seen him with a grappler like T-City Ortega, as we've seen him with Max Holloway, like he has different things he can bring to the table, you know. So yeah, for me, I still pick Volk in the rematch. So I'm hoping to see that.
Do you think it should be an immediate rematch, or should Volk first rest up and then maybe face off with other people and then come back to Ilya?
Nah, Volk's next match should be for the title, but I don't think it should be a matter of he should definitely stay off for about 6 months. And then after that, consider probably like later on in the year, September, October, you know. But yeah, he needs to take some time off and then recuperate, and then we'll see him back. But his next match should be for the title.
Yeah. Volkanovski needs to take some time. You know, my heart can't take it, and personally, as a fan, I can't take it anymore. I can't. So, you know, take a break. I know he can't sit. But also, I've noticed that even here within like the EFC, the fighters just can't sit. I don't know. They'll like go ahead, take the break that they need to take real quick, but then they'll be back as soon as possible. And it's yo.
Yeah. Like I mean, like ring rust is a thing, you know, and like obviously like fighters try to utilize them being in their prime, you know, for the most. So I don't fault them, but obviously being too active, as we've seen with Adesanya, as we've seen with Volkanovski now, it does catch up to you. So sometimes you do need a break, and that's what I wish for Volk.
Yeah, that makes sense. We wish you well, Volk. I know he's not going to see this, but you know, just in case.
He's watching.
Yeah, you know, just in case. But so yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Sure.
Please let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, my personal one, Sia_Tshuck. And just people can follow Fighting Talk podcast on Instagram and on YouTube. That's the only places where I'm at so far. But yeah, check out the content, check out the podcast. That's where you'll find me.
Definitely, guys. I will definitely link his YouTube channel down below, just so that you guys can also see that. And, you know, his social media is also going to be down below, so that you guys can also follow him there and see whenever he drops anything new. And for all the tea, first-hand tea, like before it even gets out anyway, any tea relating to who? To Themba Gorimbo, you know where to go to. You know exactly where to go to. Okay. So, yeah. I've been Chichi. This has been Chichi's Comeback Corner. And peace.
Cheers.